This is a clone comparison of an Endura 4. I just got this today. This is from China. This is the first Chinese clone Endura that I've tried to look at. Excuse me. This is a real Spyderco. This is an Endura 4 super steel. This is super blue. You can see the laminate blade there, and you can see the discolorization on the blades from turning blue. That's the super blue steel. You can also see the laminate ridge on the backbone where it's got a little, you know, I could get rid of that, but I think it looks good with it, and I'm going to try to figure out how to even it up maybe. And this has got that, they call it a blue FRN fiberglass reinforced nylon handle. It really looks gray to me, but and the box. So I got this Endura 4 today. Took quite a while to get it from the land of the sickle and star. I got another blade, a cold steel one that was a big, like, you know, started like that, huge Trailmaster, and I did a video on it also. And you know, the funny thing is that it came in this huge envelope. It was a monstrous knife, had a 10-inch blade on it, Bowie knife, and they had taken the box and flattened it to get it in there, and you know, so it was just the strangest thing. I'd never seen it before. Usually, you know, you get them and maybe the box has got a little bit of deformation because of it's had to travel from China for a month or so. But they've just started doing this. This is the second one I've got where the box is folded up inside. So I was going to finish open this up, but since it was sort of unique when I pulled it out, I thought I would show everything exactly how it came. So here it is. Here's the box, the top and bottom, and I'll expand those and we'll compare them. Looks like actually the outside box on this thing looks pretty good. We'll see if we can put this thing together and look at what it is. You can see this is what it's supposed to be, which that number corresponds to British Racing Green ZDP 189 steel. So we'll see what this looks like. They had already told me before they sent it that they didn't have the green available. Here's the little foam goes in the box, and look at this. This is a free gift. Dear buyer, this is a gift. If you like this product and gifts, please give high praise. So there's the free gift. Let's look at this. This is totally unexpected to get free stuff from over there. It's a little bracelet. How about that? For an extremely small person. It goes up a little bit. Maybe I just don't know how to work it. Yeah, actually it's pretty cool how they did the knot on this. That's actually pretty neat. See if my dog wants to wear that. So the free gift. Here's the stuff that would normally be in the box, the you know, education thing, and the foam, and the upper and lower of the box. We'll look at that in a minute. Here's how they ship their knife. Now, Spyderco sometimes comes in these flat things, but usually it comes in a bubble wrap. So you can see the bubble wrap on this thing. Sometimes it'll come in a flat plastic slip sleeve. It's not bubble wrapped sometimes, but if it does come in a flat one, it's never all crinkly like this. Never. So, and then they also, Spyderco does not wrap their knives like their Hershey bars. I'm sure there's a reason for this. So let's open her up. Oh, it is. No, it's not green. Kind of looks green on the video, but it's black. It's supposed to be black. They had told me. God, it looks green on the camera, but it's black in person. Even after the white balancing here. Oh my God, this is oh, that's oil on there. So, let's look these guys over. That feels pretty good. The blade looks pretty good too. The handle is substantial. they kind of got the FRN right. Wow, feels, I'm going to tell you, it feels identical. I ought to get a, let me get something to wipe this off so we can get a good. Sorry about that. Sorry about dropping my microphone here. I'm kind of doing this because I've got to get this done because this knife has got to go on to somebody else. So I'm kind of doing this under the gun here. Huh. Not sure you can really compare the blades so much because they're two totally different blades. But you can see that the thickness on the blade is about the same. There we go. Blade's the same length. I can end up cutting myself here. Finish on the blades is very similar. Now this is a super steel. Well, actually, I guess you would say it's super steel on both, but it's a laminate steel on one. Let me close these up before I end up. A little side to side. Let's see. Mine's a little side to side because I loosened it up too. So you could probably tighten that out of there. Forward to back is none. Side to side is a little bit. This is a FRN handle. Let me, I don't know if you're going to be able to see those in there. Oh, yeah, maybe. Let's see. You can see it's skeletonized cutouts on the inside. This is actually a, I mean, and it feels identical. To tell you the truth, it feels identical to grab it and open it to the Spyderco, and it has a black clip on it. The screws look about the same. I wanted to open this up and look at it beforehand so I could analyze it a little better, but when I saw that it was in the Hershey wrap, I kind of wanted to open it up in front of the camera, so I really haven't looked over this thing with a loop to look at the differences like I would normally do. Here's the jimping. You can see the jimping on the Spyderco. It goes back towards the thumb. You can see there's almost like a little flat shelf that's parallel to the handle where they cut the jimping back. Let's see if they're getting that yet. Nope. You can see it's, you know, they're just like sawing into the blade. I don't have a lot of light today. It's an overcast day, and I'm just not getting real good focus here either. I would say that the font is different. It's very difficult to use the font to rule these things in or out because there's variability of knives in the same lot. You know, knives made by the real guys, Spyderco. So the jimping is not spot on. So if this is a, you know, of course this is not going to be ZDP 189. It could be you know, 440, or it could be an 8 CR13 MOV, something like that. It could even be a D2 steel, but probably not. But I can tell you that the handle, the clip, look at the rest of the knife though is, man, you could get, other than the fact that you know it's not ZDP, because the ZDP, I don't know if you can tell by looking at it. Let's look at the clips. Boy, usually you can tell by the clips, but you know, because sometimes they don't get this shelf right. It kind of stays sticking up instead of flattened out, but they got these flattened out. Sometimes they're too high. This one might be a little high, but it's not so as you could tell it. Sometimes they get the screw sizes wrong. You know, they're either larger, sometimes they're better screws. But these are pretty much identical. And the FRN, I can tell you, I can't tell the difference. This is really, 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 and it feels, you know what though? Of course, this one's been used a little bit, so you can see it falls. This one is not going to do it, but it just brought it out of the box. Matter of fact, it's not really to fully disengage it. I think I found this on another knife of theirs, yeah, on a police, is that when you try to disengage the lock, I don't know if this is a good thing or a bad thing. Spyderco, when you disengage the back lock, you push it down. You know, you can see that right there. I don't know. This one, other than the fact that, like, it won't come down right there. You got to push it down even farther, all the way to the bottom. And I found that on a police. Well, there's where it breaks. You can see how much is sticking up. You can see how much is sticking up on this guy. Keep my fingers out of here. There's the difference, and it definitely makes, you see how even it is on there. And you could see how that's way down in there, and it's really not. So that makes it where it's, to disengage it, you got to get it, this part all the way down in the groove. This guy, you can see, is sticking up. Come on. Oh, now come on. So, but I will tell you, unless you would be easily fooled by this, other than the fact that this should be green. Now I've got some other ones coming that are supposed to be green. This one's definitely black. Keeps looking green on the video to me, on the screen. You know, and a lot of times, and so this is a pretty sharp knife too. They usually come with a good edge on them, unless they're really. Let's see how they did on this edge. You know, looks like the guy who did this was, you know, not bad. Pretty even. The tip's still on there. You can booger that up at all. And the blade is, you know, done pretty well. The plunge cuts across there look pretty much identical. You know, very close. So, I don't care who you are, it would be difficult You know, it feels, you know, it's definitely, I think the reason why it doesn't feel, it feels pretty good is because you know that because this thing is going much more deeper in there to disengage that lock, it is riding with a harder spring on there. So this, even though it's smooth, there is a lot of pressure on that blade as you try to move it. This guy, there's still quite a bit because it's a back lock, but I don't know, it seems like there's not quite as much subjectively. But like I said, this is not a new knife and this is a new one. So, you know, if you were to sit there and flip around on it, who knows what would happen to it. But at a flea market, definitely could. I don't know who's going to buy, because a ZDP knife is an expensive knife. I don't care where you get it at. So, you know, I don't know, maybe if you thought you were picking up a $50 one at a flea market and thinking it was a deal, you could get fooled. And they do have some green ones of these available. But this is a very good knockoff. If there's anybody who wants to see anything else on here, let me know. It's been very interesting. Most of the knockoffs that I've got from China have been extremely good quality, with the exception of some dragonflies, which were extremely bad quality. I got a bad police too. I'm going to do a video on it. But this knife is, you know, for the amount that they're charging for it, I'm going to tell you this is a $20-something knife. If it's got halfway decent steel, this is not a bad deal. This is, you know, an expensive knife. So let me know what you think about this video, and if you have any questions, if you want to see anything else, or you just have any questions basically about this knife right here. This knife is, you know, I mean, I don't know if I can answer any. Everybody knows about these knives, but about this Chinese knockoff Endura 4. It is, see if we can get the logos on there real good. It is, I don't know if the Spyder's any different or not. Because one's black and one's light colored, but you'd be hard pressed to tell the difference between this knife right here and this one. Thanks for watching. Oh, let's go with the boxes real quick. So this craziness right here, let me see if I can put this box together. I'm not even sure how to get this box together. I'm not even sure I'm going to worry about putting this bottom box together on screen. Let me open this up and we'll just compare some things on the boxes. You know, a little color difference in the red. Yeah, you can appreciate it more down there. You know, this is a deep red. These boxes, though, you can't really go by them, because one of the things you'll see on the boxes is that no matter which box you get, they all have a commonality here. This is the clone and this is the real one. Look, they're all made in China. So you don't know if these boxes are made by the same line. Sometimes you get these, and I'm going to tell you that looking at this clone box here, some of them look pretty chewed up because they came through. So this one doesn't have any chew or rub marks. Some of them, this gradient is not as good. This is the real one on the left and the clone one on the right. These gradients look pretty much perfect, and the Spyders look identical. And other than the colors, this black on the clone actually looks better and more like a piece of blacker than the one on the than on the genuine one. You know, and you can't go by, because you can have 5 genuine boxes and these logos, some will be high, some will be low, how they're printed. So I guess what I'm saying is, you know, people try to read in like tea leaves into, oh, this font's a little heavier and this one's a little lighter and this one's printed this way and these lines are mismatched. You cannot go by that, because the factory ones are like that. So, you know, and you'll have, you know, a factory one, if you have 3 of identical knives, and I've had some like that, where this is high on one, it's middle, and it's low on the other, and they're all 3 factory boxes. Same thing with these things. And these lines on the back may not line up right on factories or Chinese boxes. The fonts are different. You cannot go by that. And so trying to pick out the box is not going to work. Like I've said before, here's the biggest indicator right here, and if I'm going to size these up, is the foam. This is the thing that to me has so far always told the clone, is that the clone foam is on the back. You notice it's bigger, and the fake or the real foam is on the front. Now, one thing I will say is you can see on this, which you usually can't see, is that the clone foam, you can almost see through it, and this is definitely a denser foam. But how would you appreciate that if you just had one in your hand and you didn't know which is which? The real foam is denser than this, and you can almost see, light will almost come through that. It's more translucent, and this is opaque. But if you take the genuine foam and you stick it in the bottom of the box, it never fits quite right, although this one fits pretty good. See this space around here? But if you take the clone, that was the real foam, the clone foam will always fit the box perfectly. And I didn't assemble the clone bottom to show you that, but the clone foams always fit, and the real foams never fit. I mean, it's just the strangest thing. I don't care if you got a small knife, a big knife, or a big box, whatever, is that there's always a space between, on the real Spydercos, between the foam and the box. Some worse than this. This is actually the closest I've seen a real one fitting. Usually would be a little more space in there. So I don't usually try to read into the the weight of the paper and the print, because really I don't think you can tell, especially since I think that some of these guys who are printing the real stuff are also at midnight switching over to printing the knockoff stuff. So the foam is about the only way to tell in the boxes. The color variations on real boxes also, so you can't go by that, like, oh well, that's a little different color, unless it's a little more orangish. That looks more orange under here. Really, they're both brilliant reds, but this is like a blood red, and this is like a scarlet red. I mean, they're both reds. They look more orange on here, probably picking up the color from this leather. But you can't really tell by looking at the boxes, so don't waste your time with that. You really got to kind of concentrate on things on the knives. And on these particular knives, about the only way, I guess I'll close with this, the only way to tell that which one of these is real and which one of them is not, if I had another regular Endura that was along this line right here, tomorrow I will have a British Racing Green ZDP 189 Endura, which is what this one's supposed to be. Unfortunately, these won't be in the house at the same time, I don't think. But I think the only way to really tell on these knives now is this jimping they haven't got. When they get that down, boy, it's going to be a real problem. And is that the only way to tell on this knife that is not genuine Spyderco? I haven't seen anything else. Usually even the blades line up right. This one's kind of looking, the blades kind of mishmash on there. Is the jimping. Probably you could analyze the Spyder a little bit and get down there microscopically and see what striations are and how it was laser etched. But right now on this one, for me to pick out which one right here, I'd have to have a loop and I'd have to look closely at the jimping to pick out this is a fake. If you just handed me these two Enduras, a regular Endura and this one, you're going to have one hell of a time telling the difference now. So, and I'm going to tell you, I'm going to look real closer after I get off camera at this FRN, but man, it's a nice knife. I mean, it feels like the real one. Sometimes, the G10 on the fakes doesn't feel like the Spyderco G10, but this feels the same. So, okay. Anyhow, thanks for watching. Post any questions or comments you may have.